Bonjour tout le monde. Excuse me. Aujourd'hui, c'est mardi, le 5 octobre. Aujourd'hui, il y a le mot de passe. Can you remember it? Moi aussi, moi aussi. Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, it's just going to be for practice today, but we'll go through it in this video. La chanson de la semaine, les nombres, keep learning those numbers, 1 all the way up to 20. Les gestes et un peu de vocabulaire. Aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, c'est mardi le 5 octobre. En 1789, un grand groupe de Parisiennes est allé à Versailles pour chercher le roi et la reine. Okay, un grand groupe de Parisiennes. We see N-N-E-S at the end of the word Parisienne. That tells us these are specifically women from Paris. So, un grand groupe de Parisiennes est allé à Versailles. Do you know where Versailles is? Versailles is about 10 kilometers, I believe, outside of Paris. And it is where this very, very famous palace was constructed for King Louis XIV, Louis XIV en français. Well, after Louis XIV spent all this money on this really opulent castle, he ended up basically bankrupting the country. And the rich who were living in Versailles were in their own little bubble and didn't see that the poor who were living in Paris proper were starving. They couldn't even get bread. They couldn't feed their families. And because families were affected, that's where women came in and decided to take a stand because they were the ones who were trying to provide for their families and couldn't feed them. So, est allé, went à Versailles pour chercher, to look for, and then eventually extract le roi et la reine. If you watched Muzzy, you probably know these words. Le roi, the king, et la reine, the queen. Le roi et la reine s'appelaient. We know this word. Je m'appelle Madame Michon. Il s'appelle Bob. His name is Bob, right? We see la personne spéciale s'appelle whatever. When we put this ending, A-I-E-N-T at the end, it means were named because obviously they're no longer living. They were living back in the 18th century. So, le roi et la reine s'appelaient Louis XVI, et Marie Antoinette, whom you've maybe heard of before. Les femmes étaient fâchées. We're back to les Parisiennes, les femmes, the women, étaient fâchées, mad, parce qu'elles ne pouvaient pas, they couldn't, acheter, buy, de pain pour leur famille. So like I said earlier, they couldn't feed their families. Prices of flour and basic things were too high, and they were starving. Whereas the people who lived here at Versailles were in a very fortunate position because they were able to have everything they wanted to eat, and not only just bread, but fancy stuff. So the discrepancy between the rich and the poor got to be too much, and that kind of was toward the beginning of the French Revolution. So the storming of the Bastille, which was in Paris, was kind of marked the beginning of the French Revolution. That would have been back in Juillet, le 14 Juillet, July 14th, which is the French Independence Day in this same year. So this was just a couple months after, and along the same lines. People are mad, and they're really taking a stand and doing physical damage and showing their strength in numbers in order to be heard. Okay, and you can watch this little video. It talks about that day.
Writing's not that easy.
Sorry. Come on, Grammarly. I just wanted to show you a quick clip of the video so you knew what to expect, but obviously this is not cooperating. It'll come up eventually here. So after you're finished with your this day in history, aujourd'hui dans l'histoire, il y a la chanson de la semaine et les gestes on these different slides. And then finally you have la révision avec Quizlet. So I'm having you do something specific today.
Sentence. If grammatic wordy and hard to read, it undermines the
So this is, as you can probably tell, fictionalized. It's a fictionalized account of the women who stormed Versailles, but it gives you kind of a visual of what that would have looked like. So it's a 10-minute, little less than 10-minute video that I think you might enjoy. So give it a shot. Okay, back to Quizlet. So once you get to Quizlet, what you're going to do is you are going to, assuming that you have already enrolled in our class, if you haven't yet, click the button, the Quizlet vocab review button, I believe it's blue, in Schoology, and that will take you to where you can enroll in our class. If you haven't yet, do that. If you have, then you'll just open up Quizlet. You're going to go to the set called La Personne Spéciale. So over here. And on the left-hand side, you see Learn. And when you do the Learn function, you're going to see some stuff that is multiple choice. There'll be other stuff that you have to type in. So it kind of gives you a variety of exercises. So my name is, je m'appelle. And it will continue on like that until you get through all of the terms and know them well. So the benefit with Learn is that I can see your progress. As it says here, I'm not planning to take this for a grade, but it is a huge help with knowing these terms would be a huge help with your quick writes and also with translating your personne spéciale and our stories in the future. Okay, and that is it for aujourd'hui. Tomorrow we have our live meet at 8:45. So I hope to see as many of you as possible then. Au revoir tout le monde.